I've always loved music with a good groove and lots of space in it. And for me, I like primarily black rhythms and sonically anything that grabs my attention. So I think anything that's good is down to the individual, really. When I was like a kid, my ambitions were, you know, it's like everybody wants to be a DJ now. And I think with me, when I started off when I was 12, I used to deliver milk bottles. And then I really did not have a clue. Like most people at 17, you haven't got really a clue. And I got the opportunity. I started DJing when I was about 13 at school, then at a local club. And I just drifted into first buying and selling records, DJing, and then eventually producing records. I was very, very lucky. I think the changes primarily are in technology, where before what you had to do, you know, if you're a cabinet maker and you're building furniture, you learn your craft for many years, you do an apprenticeship and you learn how to make it. The way it went in the music, you learnt your craft as a musician, as a technician, as an engineer, as a producer. Nowadays, with the advent of technology, everybody has access to almost the same beats, the same sounds, the same plugins, and it's available to anybody to sound like something else. But still, to this day, a good song or a good idea will be the best programming in the world. I think with On You we were very lucky. We started, I came out of the late 70s and I met lots of musicians. I worked with bands like the Slits and the Clash. We also knew bands like the Ruts, who were all listening to reggae. And the kind of punky reggae party was quite a logical thing to happen. In that period I was lucky that I was working with reggae musicians and being, you know, from England and coming from the background I did do. We had a slightly unusual set of people around. We had people from all different walks of life, all different social and ethnic backgrounds. But we tried to introduce lots of different elements to make interesting productions. Putting people together in a room that wouldn't normally be in a room together and trying to create, taking risks and trying to make something interesting.
Rise up!
I love doing live mixing. The problem is for any musician, all musicians and crew, you know, roadies and mixers and technicians know that if you tour, the expense it has on your family is you're away from home a lot. And for me, I spent a lot of years in the studio. I'm now doing live gigs on my own, like doing a live dub show. But my favourite thing, I love mixing live bands. I've mixed everyone from Prince Far Eye to Primal Scream, from Little Axe to you know, all sorts of things. I love doing live mixing. That's what I started doing, and I think by doing that as a producer, it's taken me out of the studio, and you get a much better feel for how people respond and the sonics. Your understanding of the sonic when you go in the studio, you end up seeing the sound like a picture, with the hi-hat here, the bass like down here, the voice and things moving around. You learn that perfectly in a hall. It's like a huge hi-fi in front of you can play with. It's much better than being in the studio where the speakers are there. They're over there and you can shape the whole room. And I love that.
More fire! More fire! More fire! Here comes music.
The thing is with the productions that I use, that I've learned, the tricks and the secrets I've learned, is to keep the production uncluttered. And it's very, very, you know, you've got bass here, nothing is treading all over. There's more space in reggae than any other music. Now people from Peru to Poland, from Japan to London, have become fans of reggae. You've got the Police is a good example. They've taken the structure and the ideas of reggae, very sparse, very clear, song up front, uncluttered, drum, bass, guitar, and that's happened globally. And that has been the reason I've gone to places like Peru or come to Poland, is because reggae fans here, or fans of the productions I've been involved with, they said, "Oh, Adrian, please come and work with these musicians here, and let's have a creative involvement together."
My name is GP, aka Squid, better known as Ghetto Priest. I'm quite bright, but yet dark to the core. Ghetto Priest is like a metaphor. Ghetto Priest is a metaphor. Ghetto not as in ghettos in slum, because I didn't choose to live in the slum. It's man-made. So I've taken Ghetto Priest and seen as Ghetto Priest as a warrior, struggling to get out of oppression, down-pression. So Ghetto Priest is like a warrior priest. So I learn humility from the priest. I learn courage from the warrior. I've been singing now for the last 24 years now. My mother's a great singer. My grandmother, she was the head weeper of the village. So when anybody died, she absorbed all their sorrows and kept everything balanced in the funeral. And my mother does it as well. So I think, you know, it's more than singing. It's more, we're more like human filters. As artists, people take us for granted as vocalists because we're not here to like basically dictate, but we're here to share energy. So if we give out our energy to you, we demand it back in return. If it doesn't come back in return, you're a vampire, because a vampire has no reflection. So I like to get a reflection.
I just did my first single with my dad, and he brought me along to sing that. I've sung with him about quite a few times, about 5 or 6 times in different places. A friend of my dad's who's a songwriter, he came to my house quite a few years ago when I was about 15 and sat down with me, and he wrote the track, but I sat with him and we kind of did it together. But it's Jamaican saying, you know, when you're waiting for something and people promise you things, you're just waiting for something to happen in life and it never seems to happen. It's really fun. I really enjoy it.